Hello, this is James George with Creative. We're going to talk about color theory and how colors interact with each other. Color makes up everything that we do, and so it's really important to understand how colors interact with each other so that you know how to build your own color palettes and things like that. So, the first thing we're going to start out with are primary colors. That's red, yellow, and blue. This is nothing new. You've learned this in elementary school. This is pretty simple. But from these colors, the rest of the color model is built. And so what happens is when you mix red and yellow and blue, and blue and red, you get your secondary colors, which are orange, green, and purple. And these are your secondary colors. Now, when you mix red and orange, yellow and orange, yellow and green, green and blue, blue and purple, purple and red, you get your tertiary colors, which are your third level colors. And that is the basic color wheel. I'm sure you've seen this plenty of times. But this is how your color model is set up. Now, there are certain colors that you can combine together and make great color combinations. The first one is complementary colors. These create a lot of contrast. A good example is yellow and purple. They create a good amount of contrast. If you go back and look at the full color wheel, any of these colors across from each other create a great sense of contrast. Red and green, yellow and purple, all of these. If you just look directly across the color wheel, if you just draw a straight line, those are your complementary colors. If you want to create a lot of contrast, that's a good way to do it. Next are analogous colors. Those are colors that are close to each other on the color wheel. And so that would be orange, yellow orange, and red orange. That could be any three colors that are close to each other on the main color wheel. And so like yellow, green, and green could be analogous colors. Just anything that is next to each other on the color wheel. You also have the triad, and that is where colors are equally distant from each other on the color wheel. And so you have orange, green, and purple. And you see this color combination a lot. These colors work very well together, and you could use different shades and tints. And we'll talk about shades and tints in just a second. Split complementary is where you take the colors that are complementary on the color wheel, like red and green, and you can keep red, but instead of using the the harsh green that has a lot of contrast, you can mute that contrast a little bit by using the colors next to it. So that would be yellow green, and blue green. And you combine them with red, and you can get a lot of contrast, but it's not as strong as just using complementary colors, and it sort of mutes the feel of it a little bit and lessens the blow and the impact of it. And so, like, the red could be used for a lot of emphasis and impact, while you have these two colors, your split complementaries, as your accent colors. And a lot of interior designers will use this as their basis for creating the main color of a room, and then the accent color like pillows and a rug or something of that nature. And the same thing works with regular, graphic designers and web designers. You could have, your main color of your website be a really powerful red, but then you have a few accent colors like the nice blue green and yellow green to soften the rest of the website. Tints and shades of a color are when you take a shade of a color is when you take it and you add black to it. And so if you in Illustrator, if you go to color guide, you can click on your color that you have selected. And when you click on that, it adds it to your bar here, and it will tell you the different shades and the steps that you specify, what the color will look like when you add black to it. And a tint of a color is when you add white to it. So you could see in various degrees of steps that same red when you add a little bit of white to it. And just a little quick tip for you when you're in Illustrator, if you want to see more steps, you can go to Color Guide Options and you can specify more steps. So if you want to see 8 steps, it spreads it out more, and you can see eight shades, 8 shades of red or 8 tints of red to either side. The center color is your main color that you've chosen. So let's say you change it to this blue. You just click that, and this arrow points to your color that you have selected. It shows you 8 shades of that color and 8 tints of that color. I hope this helped you out a little bit. That's just a little preliminary color theory. I'll be getting into some more advanced color theory in the coming weeks. I hope this helps you out. I'm James George, and this is Creative Beacon.